Hey everybody, GravyTrain here, and another episode of GravyTraining. So, I really have been enjoying this game, Autonauts. It is a bit like Factorio meets like a city management game. I mean, people are saying like it meets like Animal Crossing or something like that. I've never played Animal Crossing, so I can't comment on that. But I don't know, like any of these city management or civilization or colony management types games where you have like workers and all that kind of stuff. That's really what this game is about, with a twist. So there is production and those kind of things. Let me go ahead and close that screen. So we have production and things like that, so you have to harvest the resources on the map, at least starting out, are pretty straightforward. And you actually have to program, like it's programming them sounds more intimidating than it actually is. And granted, I'm a programmer by profession, but this is just on screen, like more like flow charting or something than anything. But yeah, this game is based around you get these robots and you're harvesting resources and advancing your tech and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to head, this video is going to be sort of some tips and tricks, some things that aren't very apparent as you're playing it, and also I haven't seen any good videos that really talk about programming the robots. So that is what I'm going to do, is program robots and show you guys what things are. So I'm going to open most recent game. How many of these do I have? I don't want autosaves. And yeah, I think it actually cut off colony. I wasn't just making my gravy colon. So I've got a bunch of stuff going on. This was running for a while, but I want to show you how to do some of the stuff with this save because I've already got resources stockpiled and all that kind of stuff. I want to show you some tips and tricks with the game and with programming. So first of all, if you go in and edit a specific bot, you can see like, well, okay, let's go with, make this guy go again. I'm completely reorganizing my base, which is why everything is kind of in chaos right now. Alright, that's fine. We'll redo this guy. He's not working right now. Let me put him down. Alright, we got the plank adder. I want to pick them up. There. Alright, so this guy, you have these areas. By default, if I were to just edit an area, it would be based around where I actually interacted with. So this might be the area that you would start out with. Before you get things like signs and stuff like that, this is going to be approximately the area. I think you can make it a little bit bigger, but something like this is about as big as it can get. However, you notice this select structure. That is where signs come in. So you can select a structure, and you can do it as little as like, okay, well, this one thing I'm only going to harvest from this workbench, or I'm going to go based on this particular sign. And so you set it on the sign. The signs can do much larger areas. Billboards are even more so. And then if you set everybody that's working on a specific type of task to a particular type of sign, or to a particular sign, you can pick up this sign, drop it somewhere else, and your entire team will move to that new location. So definitely make use of signs, and I'll show more about that kind of a little bit later. But yeah, I mean, you've got signs here that will give you your areas and things like that. Now, that's tip number 1. Tip number 2. So, to move... So, say I've got these here. Let me go in this and go into move mode and move this off. Like, I'm trying to build, or I'm trying to expand something that I've already got. So, let me go over here. We grab a couple of logs. Now, say I want to build on top of this. And the thing is, when you start building storage, you can't use that storage while it's got a pending build. So I could go over here and get another log, but I can't add to it. Because I'm actually adding to the blueprint at that point. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to delete that top one. It actually gives me my log back, which I'm surprised. And now you can do a number of things. You can hit move, and you can move that structure on top. And now they're actually connected. Or you could actually delete the structure. So say I have some crates, and I wanted to build another crate. I'm going to go ahead and put a crate down here. And I want to put that out onto the other. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to grab 1, 2, 3, 4 planks. 1, 2, 3, 4. And eventually I would have robots doing this, and I did before I tore my base up. So instead of putting the item up here above the... because you can stack up 3 high, instead of going up 3 high, what I will do is actually delete structure, and it adds it over here as a basic. Now, if you do that, anything that's in it is going away. But now I can just click on here and add to my tower. And now this guy is set up to be building shovels, so the storage increased in size, and he's building more shovels. So that's a simple trick to add. A lot of times what I would do would be I would pick up, or I would add in another layer onto this, and then all my guys trying to move stuff onto it as I'm trying to expand my storage would stop, build one next to it, and then delete it, add it on top, or just move it on top. Sometimes moving it on top can actually cause, like, it gets weird with the UI, or with the kind of the interface. So that's where the deleting it definitely helps. So that is one thing. Another tip, another tip is that you can dig up grass and shape out your areas. So I wanted to make this nice dense farming area here, so I just took the bigger area, digging up turf from some spots and replacing it down over here. So this is kind of a really easy tip. Another thing to bear in mind with regards to this, especially after you've done planting, the way to get rid of these stumps is to first dig them up. And you'll create a hole. And then dig the hole, and you actually fill the hole back in. And now that one is that hole, or that stump and the hole are both gone. So it's time consuming. There's not really a good way to make the robots do it. That's an unfortunate thing. But that is how you clear up stumps. And then, so at that point, you'll come over here and pick up some turf. Place it down. Also, even though the animation is still going, you can actually move once you start. And you can place that down over where those things were. So, shape out your areas. Now, the next tip has to do with your farming areas. So, I've got 4 areas that are offset. 4 areas here that are offset by 1. First one is in the top left corner, bottom left corner, bottom right corner, top right corner. So once you start getting into, either you can assign 4 different digger bots to this to get these areas, or you can just get a more advanced bot like this guy right here, and you can have him move through one to the next. So I'm going to stop him. Make him drop everything. I'll actually walk over by him so that I can just grab the stuff out of his inventory. I can just do that. Yep. Okay. So now he's got nothing in his inventory. What I can do is record this, and this guy is no longer a gear maker. We're going to make him the Uber Shoveler. Never had to spell shoveler before. So, here is my approach to to programming. I'm going to just stop him so I can just grab pick. So that I had one already. Never mind. And I'm going to start recording. So, what I want him to do is going to be to dig up holes. Normally, if you have somebody do digging, they're going to dig here and here, here, every other one, same vertically. So I'm just going to go ahead and have him start here. So, you got that. Now there's a couple of ways you could do this. You could either have him go through and do each area first, or you could have him do them all at once. What I am going to do is select structure, and point it at assign. So now he will do every other through this area. And I'll go ahead and say that I'm done. Now you could have him do that if that's the case. You want to hit the loop, and you want to have him loop through this, and then go to the next one. Alternatively, and to get rid of the loop, just hit the loop again. Alternatively, I could then dig again, and change this find nearest soil, select structure, to this one. Next, I will dig soil again. And I've given him upgrades and stuff like that. You probably would need to do this with individual robots early on. Once you can get these guys, this guy's kind of the limit. So we will select a structure for this guy. And now I will dig here. And I'm going to put this area, select structure. You could do this without the signs. You could do 4 different areas. I prefer using signs because then I can move these. And now I'm going to loop. I'm going to repeat forever, or actually, I'm not going to repeat forever. So I'm going to repeat. He's going to assume that he has a shovel. So you're going to repeat until his hands are empty. So he's going to keep doing that. The shovel breaks. His hands become empty. He will escape out of this. I also want to check the toggle on error. So if he can't use the item or can't dig the hole, it's going to fail. He will go out of here and get into the next process. From there, I'm going to tell him to go to the crate and take a... Okay, so it gave me take a spade from the crude storage. So the process is he's going to work over and over and over until he runs out of tool. He's going to go get another tool. I want this process to start over again. So basically he's going to keep going until he runs out of shovels. Now you can do other things to get fancy with this. So you could set this one up to fail, or on fail, and then tell him to walk somewhere. When he's failed everything, and then make a loop there. That's not necessarily required. Like, this one is only going to break if, say, he runs out of tools. Like, this container no longer has shovels, so it'll fall back. But the important things to remember here are, like, use until hands are empty, or until question mark is not full, or until held object is full, like if you're holding a bucket, or held object is empty. Forever, until your backpack's full, your backpack's empty. Any of those kind of things. If you set it until, like I could do this, or say this one is until my hands are empty. This one could actually be until, and then you click on the little question mark here, and I say until crude storage is empty. Then I technically wouldn't have to have this failure point. Because once this is empty, he's going to... I mean, technically, I'd want him to run through once. But he would pick up the last one, and then he would go stand there. Because then the container's empty. It would pick back up because it's still going to loop here. That's why you put that extra loop on the outside. This keeps it going. And it will pick back up as soon as tools are added there. You don't have to do this extra. I have extra memory free here, so I would normally just get rid of that. This could really just go as forever and put a fail condition. So allow this to fail so that it goes up here. And that is pretty much all you would need to do. So, well, I mean, you don't even need this outside one if you're not having to move somewhere. So he's going to keep working until he runs out of tools. Then he's going to go get more tools and get back to work. So let's go ahead and watch this guy go. So he's going. See, he couldn't start, so he's getting a tool. So he's starting in a weird spot. That's fine. He goes to the closest point that he can do. And he'll count over from the upper left every 2. So he's found the first one in that every 2. And we could actually, you can see what he's doing. He's kind of randomly picking the spots. It's not necessarily completely organized. Does seem like he's picking every other, though, right now, which is kind of weird. So let me make sure he has to finish what he's doing. Go into editing mode. Alright, well, let's let him keep running and see what happens. Okay, so he is doing it from that first one. I'm just not sure what order he's actually doing them in. But it does appear that he is at least getting ones in several different places. But I digress. So yeah, this is how you would make an ultra-dense, automated ultra-dense farm. If I were to let this run, and I'll let this go in the background as we're doing this, you'll see that eventually he starts digging in all of these spots everywhere. Let's see, what are some other tricks? Some tips that I do too early on is I will usually play in free mode, not creative mode, but free mode, so that there's not the milestones required. Because I hate waiting for somebody else's idea of how to progress. I want to have access to stuff when I can gather the resources, not when they tell me, oh, you've built this and this and this. Like, that doesn't necessarily fit my playstyle. So what I will do is play in free mode, and then so you get access to things early on. Like, you wouldn't immediately have access to all the workbenches. You wouldn't necessarily have access to all the different signs. Things like that right out of the gate if you started out in colonize mode. The principles here that we're going over still work the same, but you're not going to have access to the stuff as quickly. Doesn't mean that you're going to progress any slower, but you're not going to have access to more advanced things that you can unlock and stuff like that. So, next tip. I usually run around and unlock the map very early on. That way, at least in the main areas around me, I'll spend some time when I very first start running around and unlocking areas of the map. And that gives you an idea when you're looking for stuff, where you're going to need to find it, all that kind of thing. So that's a good way to get started. Okay, so here's another one in terms of winders. So you can see he ran out of energy. Perfect segue. I've got my 2 winder robots set up here. So basically I'm using 2 signs to denote 2 areas where my people are going to be working, my robots are going to be working. And I just have a simple loop. This is a normal robot with no upgrades. Nothing under the hood. So I've got a loop, both set up to fail, so he checks one zone to see if there's any discharge bots. If there are, he moves to the bot and recharges it. If he cannot, it fails and skips down to the next one, where it looks for a discharge bot. It fails, and then it has him move to an area on the map. Now this isn't strictly required, but what I typically will do is have them move to an area, since there's 2 of them so they can charge each other, is I have my 2 areas overlapping. Now this is temporary in terms of where these are. If I were to come down here and just move this up here, there's an area overlapping. What I would do is I would have this move to area in between the 2. So regardless of where this guy goes to stand, if the other one of these runs out of power, the other one will still, if it's still sitting there idle, will be able to be in part of both zones. So if this one were to fail, like if I go pick him up and drop, running so I can't drop him off. If I were to put him here instead of where he is, so let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to edit. I right-click to do that. Just going to tell him to move to this location instead. Drag that up inside the loop. And now he's good to go. Let's do the same thing with this guy. Let's stop him. I'm going to edit him. Delete this. Move here. Put this inside the loop. Now, because they both go to this point that's in between both of them, they will be able to recharge multiple zones. Now, You could obviously do up to 4 zones if you had them all overlapping by 1 square. You could have them stand in the middle and get access to everything. So you can cover massive areas for both recharging, or you can use the 4 zones for like gathering and different things like that. Use these signs and these failover conditions. I could have a huge tree farm and have one bot that just picks up sticks in 4 huge areas. Just have them pick in one until it fails, pick in the next until it fails, blah blah blah. Or do it like I did with this robot and have them go through and kind of blend in between them. Do not need to. And this guy is almost done with this set. Now he's got a couple of speed upgrades, or he's got a speed upgrade, and he's got a energy efficiency upgrade, or he doesn't have the energy efficient. Maybe he does. Yeah. No, he doesn't. Yeah, so you can cover lots and lots of area using that stuff. So I think, I'm trying to think if there's any more tips. What I'm probably going to do is I'm going to start a kind of a walkthrough playthrough and get that started here and show you how I tackle problems, how I kind of think through some of the stuff. I actually haven't played super far into the game. Obviously, I've gotten to where I have lots of capabilities, lots of bots, lots of resource grabbed. I had stuff fully automated. So maybe we'll get back to that point. And I'm actually going to try building these better bots simpler. Alright, so he is not working right. There should be plenty of spades. Alright, let's edit him. Because he has just outright failed. So we are going to pull this out. Going to pull this out. This out. And this is the type of thing you're going to need to do troubleshooting these robots too. Is find what's going wrong and fix it. So this one he'll do until the hands are empty, and then we're going to add now here's a situation. We need to have these loops be one after another. I'm just going to drag this one and move it up. I'm going to move these out. These can technically all be together right here because I'm going to put them back. Alright, and now we've got another one. We want to set this. Whoops. I don't want to do that. Find nearest soil. We're going to set this one until hands empty with a failover condition, although we don't have to necessarily fail over since we're breaking these loops down. Move these out once again. We're going to need 3 more loops. Now we're going to find nearest soil, move the soil, add another loop, move this out, this out, move this out, and finally we're going to find nearest soil here. Going to move to the soil, and use the held item, and both of these set up until hands are empty for the failover. Until hands are empty, failover. these to the outside. And should be good. I'm thinking what I might have done, well, we'll find out here. What I might have done is made these not an even number. There's not really a ruler in terms of, so I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Yeah, I need to make that area 1 bigger than he should have done to the next line, but we should still work like this. So let's see what happens after he finishes the next 2 holes. He should start getting the ones in between, and in which case, we know we're good then. But this is the version now where he's going to do the first set, going to do the second set, third set, fourth set. And now the reason that I've thought about doing this is because this is going to be a fast space-saving thing. Doing now. Why does he not like to do this? Can't take from the spade storage. Stop. Edit. That will just fail if he can't take from spade storage. Okay, so maybe it's because I have these set for failover. These might actually not need to be set that way. What is he doing? Find nearest soil in. And that should be this zone, the outer one. Lower one. Maybe it doesn't allow you to overlap the areas. That seems kind of weird, though. That seems extremely weird. I think this one. Oh, that might be it. They might be on their own grid. That's probably it. So it's not a matter of where they started. It's a matter of the map itself is hard-coded. Okay, so you cannot... I wonder what happens if I do this then. So let's make this a single row. I can edit an area. So this row here should technically not be able to be planted. So let's save that and see if he'll plant in that row. Yep. Okay, so you cannot do it because these points they will dig in are fixed. It's not relative to the area. It's fixed to the coordinates on the map. So if I were to, like, say, move here, it's probably an even or an odd number on the map. Edit. Let's move to 263,197. Move to 262,197. Put that. So it looks like it will only do it planted on even rows with both coordinates. The 262, 196, 262 across, 196 down, 263. All of these are odds. At least one or both are odds. So that's what it is. The automated, that's kind of silly. I guess it might save memory or something. It should be based on relative to the zone. But I stand corrected, so it will not even plant on a row that is odd. Good to know. So this whole thing was a waste, except that it shows you, like, say there was something else, like I wanted to do one task in this area, another task in this area, which I'll a lot of times do, and say, okay, I want you to pick up sticks, and the areas you might not need all the signs, but I say, okay, pick up all the sticks in the area, then pick up all of the acorns in the area, pick up all the stones in the area, and all of the logs in an area. And with one of these more advanced bots, you can actually get them doing many, many things without going crazy, especially collect type tasks, because they're pretty straightforward because you're not actually using any items, you don't have to go back and forth. So let's actually see what that would look like. So we've got an area up here that's got a little bit of everything. So let's program this bot, and this will be the last one for this episode. Let's clear him out. Stop. So my task, and the nice thing is you can program these from anywhere. I'm just going to find some close ones. We go grab this stone, and I'm going to put it in my stone thing over there. And I'm going to bind this to a structure. And I'm going to bind it to this billboard. Now, I want to, and let me actually take a stick. I'm going to throw a stick down. I'm going to delete these things. Now I'm going to pick up the stick. I'm going to bind this to a structure. And then say I wanted to get an acorn. Oh, I want to take the seed. Oh. Now I want to actually put it into the storage. And now I want to grab a seed. I'm going to delete those two. Drop a seed. And you're probably only going to not get a seed. Oh, there already was one there. Alright. I'm going to tell it to pick up the seed. I'm going to select a structure. Put it to the area. And now what I'm probably going to do is we're going to take some of these and pull them out. And we're going to put each one of these in its own loop. So I can just take this, move it out. Oh, and I need to tell it to put the tree seed away. And it's not going to know to put the stone away. I'm just failing hard today. Alright. Put the stone away. Boom. Boom. Great. Come on. this is going to go up. So, add stone storage. So I'm not going to do the seeds because we don't have enough memory. And then I'm going to set it to do this, and I'm going to set it to fail. So now he's trying to work. He is going to find stone over here, and he's going to keep grabbing the stone, putting it away. Grab this so that I can move it. Come on, pick up. Oh. Silly, silly, silly. Now these guys should... Yep, they'll get up and charge them. So you can even be holding these signs as you're moving stuff around. But, so now, say while that's going on, I want him to come up and we'll have him come clean this area up here. If I can just take the sign. Oh, that's funny. This one died while it was charging him. See, but they were positioned so that they could both get there. Now, of course, because I stopped him mid-run, he's going to error out. These, the coding for this is not very robust. But, I mean, it's a game. It's not enterprise-level coding or something like that. Look, actually stop him. I can... Oh. None of that's ever going to work. He had the shovel in his hand still. Always empty your bot tool. Alright, so he's picked up a stick, and he's carrying it back. I can drop this thing off here, and he'll keep coming back and all that. I'll pick it up. Take it back. Now there's one other trick, and I'll do it in relation to this, but I'm going to show you how to have them be more efficient. Such that you can have them pick up more than one item in an area. So we will repurpose. I'm going to turn, stop him. Now I'm going to pick this up, move it over here, so these stones are in here. The last thing we're going to... Why is he... What? I don't know what he's doing. Okay, so here's this bot. So we are going to teach this bot how to pick up all the stone that he can carry in an area. So first, I'm going to have him go pick up the stone. So now I'm going to select an area, select structure, hit the sign. So he's going to collect in this larger area. And like a lot of times what I'll do is I'll have him monitoring an area while a miner is mining in this stone. I'm going to set up a loop and going to say until hands are full. And always in these kind of cases, I set up a failover case. And then, so he's going to keep doing this until his hands are full. And then I tell him to run over. And deposit. And I'm going to add another loop. pull up here. I'm going to pull this one up in between because I want him to move there once. I don't need him to move there that many times. And now he's going to keep doing this until his hands are empty. I usually set this to fail, put a loop around the whole thing, and watch him go. Should go pick up 3 pieces of stone, drop them all back in, and he's not running back and forth each time. He's actually filling his hands up. And he'll drop off 3 at a time. And you can do this with sticks, you can do this with anything that stacks. So he just dropped off all 3, his inventory is currently empty. He'll pick up 3 more, take it back, and so since there is an odd, there's not a 3 going to be left over, that one will fail because he won't find any more stone. It'll fail, he'll move to the storage thing, drop it off once his hands are empty, and then he won't be able to he'll basically go stand next to that because that's the only the only command he'll be able to execute. And then until more stone shows up there, he won't be able to do anything. So he's going to pick up the last 2, failed, jump down here. He'll drop those off, he'll stand in front of that, and just sit idle. Now if I come and just drop a stone in here, he's going to get up, move, pick it up. And run back and throw it into Grate. So if you made it this far, let me know what you think. Hopefully these tips have been helpful. I'm going to do another video. This one is already way too long. But I'm going to do another video kind of doing a playthrough, and let me listen to that. I'm going to do another video that's kind of a playthrough that demonstrates solving these problems and that kind of thing. But I wanted to share this as a reference because there aren't really any videos covering this kind of stuff. And I did, of course, think of one more thing. And this I actually found thanks to Catherine of Sky. If you hold the control key and hit the middle, it's a control shift key, and hit the middle mouse button and drag it, you can actually turn your view. So you can move them around. Now, you don't tend to line up right often, so you can just hit C to reset your... should have been Z to reset the camera. There is a reset camera button. A resetter is X, but that doesn't. C is toggle free cam. Okay, so you just basically have to line it up as best you can. Yeah, that's it. So once again, no credit to me on finding that. I totally didn't know about it. That was Catherine of Sky. I watched one of her videos and she pointed it out, and it was like, oh my god. So anyhow, thanks for watching. If you are not a subscriber, I promise the videos coming up will get better. This is the first one on this topic. Check out my other videos if you enjoy any of the other types of games that I do. Subscribe, like, hit the bell, join our Discord. There's we've got like 120, 130 people, something like that, on our Discord as of this video. So it's fairly active, lots of stuff going on, and it's a good community. And we would love to see you there as well. So anyhow, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. Please be constructive in the comments, and we will talk to you at the next video. Take care.